So welcome back to another video. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe if you've recently just come upon the channel. Like the video if you haven't already, and don't forget to comment down below thoughts and everything on what you think about today's process. So we're going to go something a bit different, not starting in the garage as we usually do with an overview. Don't like the picture dual capture, so we'll see how that works out. So we're going to have a look basically at the wash process and going a step further today in terms of decontamination. So what we've got set up already is got a couple of water buckets, fresh water for just basically when we do the contact wash. We're going to be using clean water only and then using a snow foam contact wash shampoo today. So we'll get some car shampoo and some APC on these wheels. So we'll put the car shampoo in there. We'll get some APC directly applied to these as we would normally. All pressure washers set up and everything. What we're using today is Touchless active foam, which is already sat there, mixed up, 1 litre of. That will do us for both the initial pre-wash using it and then also as a contact wash shampoo for today, which you can use that for. In terms of how I still use my pressure washer during water restrictions or sort of hose pipe bans or anything like that, I have a video from last year now, it'll be end of last year maybe, in terms of how to get around that and the different ways and the way that I've done specifically. So today, in terms of what we're doing on the car, we're going to have a look at doing a decontamination wash, which will be multi-stage today. So we're going to do normal wash process. It's not super dirty, you know, it's still nice weather around. We've had a bit of rain, which is just the dust and the pollen and everything that was sat on there. It just looked like in a somewhat water patterned behaviour now with it having rained on it. So we'll get these wheels cleaned with an APC and then a full contact wash, faces and barrels like I mentioned, we'll do that first. Then we'll move on to the car, we'll do a pre-wash snow foam with Touchless active foam, and then we'll do a contact wash with that same soap as well, and just a normal rinse bucket with the water in. What we'll do from there is we're going to do a multi-stage decontamination today, which we're going to go fallout remover first to help remove any of those sort of iron particles or ferrous metals that are stuck in the paint or anything like that, just that get generally built up in those areas over time. You know, you generally see that wheels are the worst, and as you'd expect around the wheel arches, you know, sort of front doors, rear panels, that sort of area. We'll then going to do a full tar and glue removal, so we'll go over the full bodywork with that as well and discuss the limitations and how good that is. In terms of, it's fine if you've no external plastic trims or anything. One thing you have to be extremely wary of, it's an extremely strong solvent, especially the one I use, the G-Technic tar and glue remover, and it will melt any exposed plastics if you're not careful with it. So that's something to be mindful of. That's us. Quick look round. As you can see, nothing too bad, just some surface dirt on there. We'll get on and start the wash process now. So I'm just finishing off getting set up here. In terms of what this does today, this just sets us up for some of our future work. So us doing the fallout removal and a tar and glue today, fortunately I'm a bit limited by time. I would like to do more of this all at once and try and condense this, but I'm just working with what I've got at the minute and with restrictions I have in terms of time, which is pretty normal. Everyone has these. You only get to do so many things every week or something like that, and it just is what it is. So we'll get on with this now. So I've been around then with APC, which is Touchless Green Star today, mixed at 10:1. I've always got that readily available, pre-mixed, good for wheels, exteriors, engine bays, stuff like that. Not suitable for inside as such, but great for wheels, and doing this sort of treatment you can go stronger or weaker as needed. That's sort of just the dilution I tend to have it set at. What we're going to do then is, we've just been around with the active foam over the top of that. Give it a bit of an increased dwell time, we'll get around with that contact wash. So that's us round after cleaning wheels. Went round with Koch Chemi's Green Stars and all-purpose cleaner to start with. Went over that with Koch Chemi's active foam afterwards, just to give it that increased dwell time. Bit of additional pull. What we're going to do now is go over everything with active foam as a pre-wash. We'll get that rinsed off afterwards and then go on to contact wash. So we've had overcast weather up to now. It's now come out a bit nicer, sun's out. It's going to really reduce our dwell time at the minute, so we have to be mindful of that. You can see, even just by the time I've been round, gaps that are already pulling with panel temps. So leave that a quick dwell and we'll get on with rinsing it off. So that's us first time round, getting that pre-wash off. We're now going to go over it again. Koch Chemi's active foam, a bit more of a lighter dusting this time. You can see we've just under half left. We got taper on the jug there. We'll get round it and get on that contact wash. In terms of direct sunlight, it's not ideal in terms of water spotting and everything for a wash process, but it's not something that's uncommon. What you need to be more mindful is when you're doing decon wash, that stuff like, you know, the solvents and everything you're using aren't sat there on dry paint, allowed to dry, direct sunlight, things like that. So we'll discuss that more as we get into it. But for now, we'll get round again and get on with the contact wash. So like the pre-wash then, this doesn't need any dwell time or anything. So we'll get straight round with the contact wash mitt, which is today's media. I'll give this a good hand wash. Us round quick as we could. Don't want that soap drying on the surface, so we'll get round and rinse it off now. Right, so here we are then. We've got the fallout remover ready. Just in one of these Amazon Basics 5 litre pump sprayers. Absolutely brilliant. Got a couple of these, all different tasks, whether it's putting snow foam, shampoos in them. I've used them for TFRs, fallout removers, all sorts of stuff. Really good, cheap, just from the Amazon Basics line. Does exactly what you'd want. So we'll get round now, spray this on the affected areas. We'll probably just go glass down for this and see how bad it is and see what sort of pull and fallout activation we get. We'll go from there. Although we're trying to get it on alloys, I'm not trying to get in the barrel themselves or on the brake disc or anything. So that will just accelerate any oxidisation, everything on the discs, which is obviously undesirable. You don't want that. Need to be mindful again, panel temps with this stuff don't need drying on You should be able to see there some of that signature purple. Don't know how well that'll come up. You can definitely see that one there. Obviously on the paint as such, don't come up. This is starting to dry a little now, so we will get that off as soon as possible. We don't want that. It's had time to do its thing. We don't want these things sat on there any longer than they have to be. So we'll get that rinsed off. Right, so that's us. We would have liked a bit of a more of a dwell time and show you some of that pull. We did get some purple coming off as I was rinsing it especially. But with panel temps and sun and everything today, and it was drying in place, I've whipped round, got that off quick. So that has had the desired effect. Wasn't a great deal of fallout on there, to be fair, in terms of iron deposits or any metallics sort of stuck in there. Obviously you saw the bleeding on the wheel, a bit worse than the rest of it. But even still, not too bad. What we'll do now, tar and glue removal. Get rid of them, some of them tar spots and everything, even if you can't see them, they're often there. Surface roughness is often a guide of that, depending on colour and everything. They're not always the easiest things to see on darker cars, so we'll get around and do that next. So we'll move on then. Tar and glue remover from G-Technic, their W7. This thing is super strong solvent wise, the smell's real pungent. I actually keep this bagged up in the garage, or it does smell the whole garage out the whole time. Just leaches from this bottle and the spray nozzle. Got this dirty old one that I've generally used for wheels, so we'll get round, do tar removal off wheels first, and move on to paint. So this is a classic case of do as I say, not as I do, in terms of I ain't going in nitrile gloves again, unfortunately. So I will avoid actually getting this on my fingers and hands where possible, but highly recommended that you do wear gloves while doing this process. It's a strong solvent and not something you want interacting with your hands. It'll dry them out instantly, pulls out oils and everything out of your skin, so that is not advisable. Pulled a few nice tar spots off, easy there. We'll get on now, do the same thing we've just done for wheels. It's been really successful. Got some of those bigger tar spots off. We'll get around now and do it body. So we'll get watered down just a little bit, obviously, with the surface water that's still on the paint. So these are the areas especially that you'll target. Tend to have that tar you can't see. Gets flicked up from wheels and roadworks and things. So what you should be able to do then is literally, not that you would go over with one side, full car microfiber, and you're not bringing any dirt off because you should have washed your car sufficiently well. What you should just see is little bits of tar that you have just brought off that surface. It's exactly what you want. Not bringing dirt off that you should have cleaned off in an earlier process. So we'll get those bits rinsed off now. Make sure we've no solvent left on surface long term, and we'll move on again. Right, so that's us round once again then. So obviously what we've done, fallout remover, rinse that off, tar and glue, dedicated on wheels with one microfiber, then been round, sort of glass down again, body panels, areas of, not concern, but sort of worst bits that I found today is, as you'd expect, behind both wheel arches, especially here on the rear on both sides, a little bit on front doors, but not too bad. Bonnet had quite a bit on it, that surface roughness was definitely there, that will help take that off, so that were nice. So yeah, it's definitely had the effect we wanted. Right, so that's us for decon processes today. We're going to get round, we'll do a contact dry today. just to get most of this water off. What I'll do then is I need to nip out anyway, getting any of that oxidisation or whatever off the discs and everything, just to clean them up a little bit. So we'll get on with that now. Right, so that's us all done then for today, back in the garage. So a quick overview of what we've done. Obviously, we've done a pre-wash with Koch Chemi's active foam on the entire body. We've then rinsed it off with the pressure washer. What we've done after that, I used active foam again as a snow foam and then a contact wash shampoo, just with water in the bucket and a 1 bucket method as such. So you've seen us do that. Before that, we did a dedicated wheel clean. So we've used Koch Chemi's Green Start 10:1 as a pre-treatment. And then again, gone over with active foam just to give them that bit of extra dwell time and that bit of a pull. That's nice to see. That was super easy to clean those. What we've done after that then, in terms of then doing the contact wash, we've been around with the fallout remover, looking to take any of those ferrous metals out and any sort of fallout that's in and around both the wheels and the body without trying to get inside the barrels and all over the calipers and discs and everything. To accelerate oxidisation on those, that's not desirable, so we don't want to do that. We've rinsed that off. We've then gone round tar and glue. We've done wheels first with a dedicated microfiber just for that. Been really successful. We're getting some of those tar spots off where you could see there was ferrous in there with reaction on the purple, and we did a bit of an up close. They were then added bits of tar on there, so they've come off pretty nicely. I have noticed extra jobs obviously as you're going around doing these sorts of things, but that'll need dedicated time. It will be a lengthy process, and we'll go over that, something to do with the wheels, in the near future. So after we've done that, we've rinsed off again. We've then in the final sort of decontaminated state as such. We've gone round, done the contact dry, and then that's how we've left it for today. So like I mentioned, ideally I'd want to be doing, you know, multiple steps after this and trying to ram it all in, and you know, that's an ideal thing you're doing if you're on your own. Ideally you'd be doing this on a weekend, something like that, when you had plenty of time and not just in between jobs like I've been doing today when you've got a couple of hours free and you're due somewhere at a certain time. So unfortunately we've had to stop there today. We'll pick this up again, next steps after this, in terms of continuing to decontaminate and get that paint in a ready and prep stage as we go along through these processes for what will ultimately get to the polishing stage and what you need to do to get there. So I hope you've enjoyed this week's video. If you haven't already, please give the video a like, it really helps out the channel. Comment down below, have you done these sorts of things? What's your favourite fallout remover? Have you got a tar and glue you prefer? Something like that. How often would you be doing these processes outside of going up to something like we're doing, where we're building into something as a standalone process? How long would you usually leave it between doing these? Is it on condition based on surface roughness or something you're feeling or seeing? Or is it something you like to do on a time-based schedule? Let me know down in the comments down below. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I hope you've enjoyed. We'll see you next time.